Welcome back, everyone. Today on Fine Music, we have episode 167 with the Venerable Fred Whitlock to share with you something that I already know about, so I got to keep my mouth shut.
This week, I'm going to talk about Livingston Taylor, the brother of James Taylor. He's been around recording for 50 years with his uplifting vocals and sometimes bittersweet songs. He's always, of course, overshadowed by James. And one reviewer said it's a shame that there wasn't more room for him on the radio. He should have been a bigger star. If you want to get into his career, there's a couple of collections out. One is called Carolina Day, Best of Livingston Taylor, and that covers his early career as well as some of his later material that he did for Epic. Then there's a collection called The Early Years, and that's 19 songs and of his Capricorn record years, his early years, first 3 or 4 albums. It has some great tunes. His first Capricorn years were great years. He was really solid in those years. Then there's another collection called The Middle Years, and that covers his Epic record career when he was on Epic Records. That came out in 2021, and it has some of his AM radio hits, Going Around One More Time Again, and a couple of others from that era. In 2010, he came out with a great album called Alaskan Moon. And it's got country people on it. It's got jazz people on it. It's got Ben Taylor, his nephew, James's son, duetting on a Michael Jackson tune, This Girl Is Mine. They completely rearrange it and make it their own song. It's got some of the people backing them up are Vince Gill, country, and Larry Carlton on jazz guitarist, and violins and fiddles. It's a great mixture of songs. And it features a woman, Adrienne Zune, on vocals. And she adds, when she duets with Taylor, it adds deeper depth to his tenor. In 2014, he came out with an album, Blue Sky. It's a blend, again, a blend of covers and originals. He rearranges and does a vocal on Laura Nero's Sweet Blindness. And he re-recorded one of his fan favorite songs, Boatman. It's a solid album, and he records Stephen Bishop's On and On. He, as always on this album, he has a great ensemble backing him up. It's mellow, smooth, folksy, and just a solid album for soft pop rock folk music. Then in 2017, he recorded an album, Safe at Home. Now this was recorded 2 days live with a band at a church. And it features another artist, Chelsea Berry. She has 10 albums of her own out, and she's a great talent from New England, and features Shelley Berg on piano, who gets a lot of room to play and adds a lot to the songs. He gives a lot of room to Chelsea. She's got a couple of songs she sings completely on her own, and they do some beautiful duets on this album. It's a mixture of a number of pop tunes, such as a jazz tune that might as well be Spring. They do a version of the Beatles' Penny Lane, the Everly Brothers' Bye Bye Love. He gets sparkles on this album together when they sing together. It's just great. And Penny Lane is done in a jazzier style. And like I said, the duets shine. And he is an artist that should have more coverage and more airplay. But these days, artists like him are hardly getting any airplay. So stream him or find his collections on CD or buy his latest Safe at Home. You won't be disappointed.
Well, this is my moment to chime in. All right, I have to admit, I didn't know about Livingston Taylor. I don't know how that's possible.
Well, you have to like his, soft rock style. If you don't like soft rock, then
James Taylor was ubiquitous.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right? You couldn't
He
miss
came
him.
out first, and then Capricorn Records, which was distributed by Atlantic, signed Livingston up. His first two albums were produced by John Landau.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And Kate and Alex, I think Alex got signed to another Atlantic subsidiary, Atco Records, and Kate was on Atlantic Records.
Oh, this is a perfect segue.
Yeah.
I got to show something on my media player because didn't you say, Fred, you thought Alex only had one album? Is that right? You thought Alex only had one album?
I thought so. It's been so long since I've seen my record collection. I don't.
Okay, then I'm going to prove to you now that he had two, at least, because these are the two I've got. If I may be so bold as to share them. Well, I'd even think about playing a snip, but I just don't know the danger of it. So in 1969, he has an album called With Friends and Neighbors. You know that one?
Yeah, I had both those
albums. Oh, then you have two. Okay, no surprise.
Dinner Time. Oh, yeah.
But I find interesting in the 69 one, he sounds so much like his brother. I mean, his brother
was more a bluesy type singer, I think.
Yeah. That's especially the Dinner Time album. I mean, they label him under Southern rock. I don't know if that's appropriate or not.
Well, they were from Carolina, and they all lived on Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the songwriters. You see the list of the songwriters there.
Okay.
On the first album, a couple songs written by his brother.
Yeah.
And Bobby Womack's It's All Over Now, very famous.
Yeah.
And then on the second album, talk about a variety of writers. Look at that variety of writers on that second album. Randy Newman, Stephen Stills, Howlin' Wolf, Charlie Rich, Bob Dylan, of course.
Yeah.
Wow. And I have to admit, I like the Dinner Time album better. Alex is more himself on that album. It's less derivative. And that's my 2 cents.
Great.
I'm not going to play anything because he's too famous, right? To the Taylor family.
Well, he's dead. He may not be able to sue you.
Oh, hey, so delicate. Ouch. Okay, so what about, you said there's Kate Taylor, right?
Yeah, there's Kate Taylor, their sister.
What would you recommend from her? Because I don't know her either.
She recorded it with a group called Joe Mama, which had Danny, what's his name? Danny Kirsch.
Okay.
He played guitar for a lot of different people, and Joe Mama recorded on their own also. They're all
How do you spell Joe Mama?
Men. They became well-known session men in the 70s, most of them.
Oh,
okay.
All right. So I'll investigate. Thank you, Fred, for
Yes.
finding another rich mine, a rich vein in the rock and roll mine that may not be explored by too many. That's episode 167 of Fine Music. Thank you, Fred.